won't rest. We won't rest.
Gretchen.
Yes,
So,
they need the Democrats need a real.
You already know this is going to be a good video when Scott Jennings is laughing on TV like that. In this video, we will be going over all of the most recent meltdowns revolving around Elon Musk. He seems to be the center of attention right now. And also, we will be going over the whole sanctions thing between Canada and Mexico. So before we start, as you know, please like this video. It helps out so much, and you also won't miss any other videos when you like this one. So let us begin.
The name of the game here is behavior modification. He wants Canada and Mexico to help stem the flow of drugs and people across the border. That's number one. He doesn't think they're doing enough. He's using these tariffs as a tool to say, look, I'm not fooling around. We mean business. Until you help me, I'm going to inflict some pain upon you. The American economy is bigger than yours. You depend on us more than we depend on you. Therefore, please modify your behavior.
Okay, so there's a bit of controversy here, and I will show you that in a second. But the first thing I want to point out is that Scott Jennings actually predicted the future. When he said this on TV, this was hours before all of a sudden Mexico said, you know what, we should be helping you, United States. And then a few hours later, Canada said, you know what, we should be helping you, United States, and help secure the border. However, here is the counter argument all of a sudden we are hearing about.
A $1.3 billion border plan where they talk about reinforcing the border. I should note that's actually something that Trudeau announced and Canada announced back in December, about mid-December. But also in this announcement, Jake, he says,
this is complete news to me, and I want you guys to leave your comments down below. Did you actually know that Canada had a $1.1 billion plan to help secure the Canadian border? Because when you look at the numbers and statistics, it doesn't look like they were actually trying, and there were a lot of people and illegal things coming into the country. So you have two arguments here. You have, well, Canada was going to do it anyway. What's the big deal? And then you have, well, Donald Trump is the reason why this is being implemented.
I mean, I don't know what Trump wanted in this situation. Again, he didn't actually get anything. But if he were to put these tariffs in place, they would be very painful for American consumers. Okay, Scott. I mean, this is
the total lie.
This is public information.
He got what he wanted. He got an agreement from our neighbors to do more on the border. That's what he wanted, and he got it.
Exactly what they have already been
I understand
doing.
you're the minister of propaganda tonight, but you don't have to be. You could just say, "Hey, all's well that ends well." Here, come on.
Now, I have to stop right here because this next part is the reason why a lot of people think Democrats are the party of the elitist and the entitled. You'll see what I mean here in a second.
If you don't know that these countries are committing to do exactly what they have already been doing, either you haven't done your homework or you think the American people are idiots. Because again, they're doing
option three. Donald Trump is enforcing what needs to be done at the border, which is more help from our friends. They are our allies, and they are important people, but they need to help us, and they've not been helping us, and now they're going to help us even more.
They have been.
But the point is that it's also...
This is why I make these videos, because I love to expose when left-leaning media loves to gaslight or to insult conservatives. Man, are you not educated or what? Everyone knew that Canada was going to be helping the United States. I do my research on these topics 24/7, whether it's geopolitical or internally within the United States. I cannot find CNN really highlighting this specific news story. Nobody was talking about this. Even if it was true, I will grant you that. Nonetheless, literally no one knew about this, and even so, Canada all of a sudden really only seemed to care when Mexico was not on board with Canada. But this next part is even worse.
Ask every family with a death how much they've been helping.
Scott, can I just ask you?
Well, they have done nothing more.
Scott, can I ask you though, like this playbook?
By the way, this is the same news reporter who went on TV and said Elon Musk did that very evil hand salute and wants an apology and was freaking out over it. Now she's laughing at the family members and Scott Jennings for pointing out a lot of Americans have lost loved ones due to the horrible border security from Canada and Mexico, and she's laughing at that. Pretty disgusting.
In other words, it'll be paid for by American consumers. I mean, why would you want to get in a fight with your allies over this?
Well, I think that question was posed on 60 Minutes last night. Let's fast forward to what's happening right now. There are no tariffs. There's a pause on this because, as has been reported by CNN and every other news outlet, both Mexico and Canada have reached agreements today with Donald Trump to do what we want them to do, which is to put people and technology and resources at the border to stop the flow of people and drugs, illegal immigration, stem the tide. That is the whole point of this exercise. And that is apparently what is happening. And yes, there have been some troops there in Mexico. This is an agreement to do permanent deployment. And yes, some of this stuff in Canada was already announced, but now they were dragging their feet. Now their feet are held to the fire. They've got 30 days to really implement, and they can't pussyfoot around anymore.
So I just wanted to show you guys, there are Republicans. Obviously, Mitch McConnell is not a fan of Donald Trump. I think many of you know that. But in general, there are even some conservatives or Republicans who were a little worried as if these tariffs will work. Again, this is new for Americans. We are not used to a president being like, oh, you don't agree with me, and then goes on social media 15 minutes later, okay, tariffs on you, get ready. We are not used to that. So expect to see even some of your friends, if you are conservative, who might not agree with Donald Trump or what's going on, because again, we are not used to the United States sort of almost bullying their way around in a sense of getting what they want, because the United States helps fund these countries.
Today, and we played the clip of it, that we're going to stop Elon Musk. What do you see as the most effective means of opposition to that? The scale of what you're describing there.
Fortunately, because they think they're dictators, they're trampling the civil service law. I mean, the heart of civil service law is you can't fire people for political reasons. That's why we have a civil service, as you know, and yet they are being very open and explicit about their doing that. I mean,
the biggest talking point right now is that Elon Musk has way too much government overreach, and the Department of Government Efficiency is looking into all of our bank accounts. They're making decisions to get rid of entire federal government agencies. In fact, we even have Democrats who are taking to the streets, members of Congress, and yelling about it and are in protest.
In the building behind me, Elon Musk is seizing power from the American people.
We won't rest. We won't rest.
Gretchen. Yes, so they need the Democrats need a real.
My favorite part about that clip is how the news anchor, when they cut back to them, she's already looking at Scott Jennings like, here we go. We're about to get clipped all over the internet and people are going to laugh at us. And she's right, because right now, Republicans and conservatives are sort of like, what is the problem as far as wanting transparency? And over on the Democratic side, it's like, hold on. The Department of Government Efficiency wants transparency, but when we look into them, there's no transparency.
That's an important question. Why is it, Scott, that Elon Musk claims that it is a crime to tweet out the names of the 6 individuals who I have to assume are government employees, maybe they're not, who are going around and carrying out his orders and telling people, for example, to not come into work at an entire federal agency, who are going into the Treasury asking for access to a sensitive payment system.
Okay, so very quick context because a lot is going on right now. Elon Musk is very upset because people on the internet started to publicly call out or show the world who is working for the Department of Government Efficiency. Elon Musk said this is doxing. However, the counter argument is, well, Elon Musk, you were calling out federal employees who are working within the federal government. Is that not doxing as well? Let's continue the clip.
How is it a crime to know who those people are?
I don't know if it's a crime or not. I think it's certainly untoward to try to because you're trying to sick an angry mob on people who are showing up to try to
first of all,
act on behalf of the president of the United
States. This is his platform, okay? If his own platform is an angry mob, that's one thing. But he also does this all the time. And these are people who are doing things that affect Americans. They're working in the government.
Well,
I don't see why it needs to be a secret.
They're doing things that affect the bureaucracy, which is why you see all the rage today.
You don't think that this stuff affects Americans, Scott?
I mean, yeah, probably in a positive way. And I'm glad to see Democrats are coming around to the idea that the unelected people who might be involved in the running of our country are important, because you seem to have no interest in that for the last 4 years under the last administration. Here's the bottom line. The American people.
And just so you are aware, Elon Musk is officially a special government employee. Those are the direct words from the Trump administration. So that is why I think people are looking into Doge and they want to see what's going on. However, obviously Elon Musk is saying, hold on. The way you're doing it is very evil and you're trying to get us all hurt. So let me continue this conversation.
The American people, you know what that means is that you had a president who was not functional and you know it. Actually,
by that same token, I mean, if you're concerned about the people around Joe Biden running the government, why aren't you concerned about?
Because I don't have any concern that this president is functional. He's a functional president, and Musk is an agent of the president.
Why are you not concerned that Elon Musk is, according to a lot of reports, someone that no one around the president wants to even cross because he's so powerful, and he has leverage over this president because he spent $250 million to get him elected?
Look, the president was elected. He runs the government. Elon Musk is an agent of the executive branch at the direction of the president. And as the president said today, he's not doing anything that he doesn't have permission to do. And I will just remind you all, one of the things he was elected to do is to shake up Washington, stop doing business as usual, and rein in an out-of-control bureaucracy that, as the Congresswoman correctly pointed out, is spending money in ways that was never intended.
And I apologize for that long clip, but I wanted to give you guys the full context. Again, if you are still watching this video, leave your comments down below how you feel about all of this, because again, I don't think Americans are used to this. This is all new to us, and when you experience something new and not normal, you're like, hold on, this is not right, and that is what's happening. We are not used to faceless people calling out other faceless people, and now these faceless people essentially have a voice and face.
Reality is, I'm still shocked that she said
taxing
that there
our
was
people.
I'm
He's
still,
taxing
I'm
our
still in
people.
shock that you actually said that the border crossings went down under Biden.
They did go down under Biden. You know why? You know why they went
This is
down?
like so disingenuous.
These are public data. These are knowable facts.
I have been covering CNN for a very long time now. I cannot believe we are still talking about Joe Biden and the border crossings, but again, I want to amplify a point. Not once have I ever heard that Joe Biden is going to get help from Canada and Mexico, and that is why the numbers went down. It is true, all of a sudden we did have a couple of months where the numbers went down, but overall it was a catastrophe.
And
we had millions of people into this country.
Listen, I want you to understand. I want you to understand that I'm just going to clarify because people are confused, right? Border crossings were at historic levels under Joe Biden. 100% true.
Historically high.
Yes,
historically
high.
I just want to make sure it could be historically low.
No,
like unemployment under
historically high levels under Joe Biden, 100%. But by the end of his term, before Donald Trump went into office, they decreased.
Why?
To a low level.
When and why?
Because finally, after
an election
3 years,
happens.
hold on.
No, that's not what happened. Look at the timeline.
They saw that
Look at
Donald
the
Trump was
timeline.
coming.
Hold on, Carlos. You'll appreciate what I'm going to say.
Okay,
because Joe Biden realized that the border was a political issue. He put in place programs that helped to stop the flow late in the game. He did it late. But here's the thing.
Actually, the more important thing is he got Mexico to send more troops to the border.
I love it when news anchors admit these were historic highs, but at the very, very end of his presidency, you know what? I realize this is a political matter and not an actual American matter. And CNN is even admitting it, and for whatever reason, that one news anchor and other news anchors in left-leaning media, they have to keep defending Joe Biden because they cannot make Donald Trump look good. And by the way, I think the number is like, we are now down 96% of border crossings. That is like a historic record in itself under almost any administration. So again, I don't know why we are still talking about Joe Biden and the border crossings in a positive light, because as you just saw, overall they were very high. So why does it matter in the last few months? Well, they were sort of down. When you have over, and the conservative number is 10 million illegal immigrants come in the country, now all of a sudden it's an issue? It's kind of crazy.
Guys, can we cut it out? Donald Trump is not an idiot. Donald Trump, let me just be very clear. Donald Trump is smarter than me, you, and all critics. You know why we know? Because he has the White House, the Senate, the House.
Totally agree.
Court, the popular vote. He has a massive media ecosystem bigger than the mainstream built around him and for him, and a religious fervor in a political movement around him. And his best buddy is the richest person in the history of the world, and the most relevant Kennedy is with him. This dude is a phenomenon. He is the most powerful human on earth and in our lifetime. And we're still saying, well, how was this guy? We look like idiots to ordinary.
Look, we have to give credit when credit is due, and if you are still watching this video, thank you so much. This is a pretty prominent news anchor from CNN, and the fact that he's now admitting we have to stop questioning Donald Trump, again, a common theme, and I hate to sound like a broken record, the reason why people are asking, how could Donald Trump do that? Why does he have the popular vote? Why does he have this? Is because a majority of Americans seem to have either common sense or are not believing the media misconception. I'm not going to say all of the media was lying, but there was a lot of misconceptions out there and misguiding the American public where Americans, normal Americans, did not have any faith in our news reporting and educating of the American public. So again, it would probably be a lot more beneficial to either just report the news or to give accurate statements as far as counter news. This is why CNN is trying to get away from the all negative news reporting on Donald Trump, because during the 2016 presidential reign, everything was Donald Trump bad, Donald Trump bad, Donald Trump bad. Over on MSNBC, and their ratings are horrible right now, that is what they're doing, and it's not working out. I think they only have like 30 to 40,000 people watching their episodes at a time when they're not on primetime TV. But again, this is why now you have prominent Democratic news anchors say, we need to stop it. Donald Trump is a lot smarter than we think, and also his ecosystem is a lot stronger than we think. We have to stop calling these people uneducated. We have to stop calling them dumb. We have to stop, saying that we are the smart people. We know what's going on because at the end of the day, a lot of Democrats got duped. Donald Trump is a lot smarter than we think.
And I want to go into this because Wired has done actually a lot of really good reporting, and they actually named 6 people, one of whom I think is still in college. And these are people who don't work for the federal government. It's hard to believe they have security clearances of any kind. Elon Musk has essentially banned people from Twitter, literally blocked their accounts and deleted their accounts for renaming those people, right? For naming those, identifying those people. This was journalism that happened.
If you are still watching this video, I really appreciate it. We have so much work to do, and there are a lot of clips between MSNBC, CNN, and a little bit of Fox as well. Thank you guys for everything, and I hope to see you guys later.